I know I'm okay. I know I'm gonna flip. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Quick pop up, man. Late night,
Yes, sir.
uh, 10-12 in Atlanta, Georgia. I should have my old ass in the
Easter.
bed, but we got something to talk about right quick. We're gonna pick it back off the Legacy Locker Room podcast. If y'all don't know who that is, that's Hot Rod, Who, and HD, three former Atlanta Falcons wide receivers, and they
Yes,
gave
sir.
their top five NFL duos. So that's what me and Chris gonna do. But like we always do, man, before we get started, we like to welcome in chat if y'all join in from the chat. But we're gonna give y'all a second to come in. We're gonna do a quick 30 and like run the quick route. But hey, it is what it is. But top five wide receiver duos in the NFL, and y'all know me, I'm gonna throw a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
they did their wide receiver groups based on I think numbers and
I think it was just based off what last season, right?
right,
Kinda.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give y'all my top five who I think going into 2025. That's how I'm gonna do
Okay.
it.
You
But
wanna give their list first?
Uh, I mean, I don't remember it 100%,
Yeah.
but
I mean I
I
remember
do.
who they put.
Okay, okay. So the first three, we know the first three. You're gonna
Mm,
go the two in the background right there, Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
mm-hmm.
Then you go AJ Brown and Devontae Smith,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans and Chris
And
Godwin
Chris
comes
Godwin was
back.
number 3. Mm-hmm.
On one of those lists, there was Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle, which I didn't agree
Right.
with.
Right. Right.
Um,
Then you also had
then
Amon Ross St. Brown
Brown and
and
Jameson
Jameson
Williams.
Williams.
Right, right.
Mm,
So those are basically the five.
right.
Um, one that shocked me was Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had a very down year. Had a little bit over 800 yards.
Mm,
I think he had 5 touchdowns or more. I'm not sure, but y'all can look that up and y'all can put it in the chat and tell us. But he had a very down year. I think Jalen Waddle did go over 1,000 yards, but not by much. But with those two, I think they're just looking at pure speed, route running, and things like that. And I agree with that because they're
yeah.
former
The
receivers. They
talent.
know. Yeah,
The
they know.
talent.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was my only disagreement with the list. But their top five list. Tell me what you think because I think outside of that one, I think they nailed it. But Amon Ross St. Brown and Jameson Williams, I don't have them in my top five, and I'll give y'all why in a minute. But tell me what you think about their list.
I mean, their list. I honestly respect their list, honestly, because again, those are guys who played their position.
Right.
So I can't really like knock it because I know what they're looking at, and they had an excellent episode about breaking it down and just saying giving their point of view. And I loved it. You loved it. I said respect it. But yeah, it was a few surprises in there. I mean, I think the Tyreek Hill um and Jaden Waddle thing, and then also I was looking at Detroit, and I know they won games and stuff like that, and they did have 2,000-yard receivers and stuff like that. So I definitely understood, but maybe for me, I think it was a little bit about. I know Mike Evans is definitely Mike Evans, but I know Chris Godwin, he definitely got hurt. But I mean, he is a dog too, and I understand what they was looking
Can I
at. I think they
can
were
I can
looking
I
at
say
total
this right
body of
quick?
work. What you got?
I'm a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan.
Right, but
But if Mike Evans don't get in the Hall of Fame first ballot, they just need to close it down altogether. Period.
hey,
He has 1,000 yards in every season, has over 100 touchdown receptions. So
mm,
he first ballot, no doubt about it.
oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, come on now. How could you not? So that guy, he's been Mr. Consistent with it. And honestly, it's going to be tough to do that because, injuries and everything play a
Right.
part of it. So it's going to be tough to do that. I mean, there's some guys in this league that can do it. But again, can they stay healthy? Can they, do the preparations and all that stuff for that to be able to do it? We'll see. But yeah, man. Like I said, respect their list. But we're gonna get into some pretty much who we got and our list and all the stuff for like top five duos and everything like that. I believe, like you said, at least top the last two, definitely 100%. But you can kind of like juggle the last the 3 through 5. I think.
Um, I think you can juggle 4 and 5.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking Mike Evans and Chris Godwin a lot. just like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase and T Higgins. Those three combos, they're locked. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. But number five, me, I had it number five, and I'm gonna go this year. I know what they were talking about, with duos the last couple of years, but I'm looking at this
Okay.
duo this year, and I'm just looking at CD Lamb and George Pickens, two
Mm,
number one receivers who can run every route in the route tree. And I think going to get a George Pickens, a deep threat like that, that makes CD Lamb even more dangerous because he's one of those receivers that likes to play in the slot. He likes to run across the middle of the field, and he's a great run after the catch guy. So when you
yeah.
add a deep threat like a George Pickens, I think that makes CD Lamb even more dangerous. I think he will run more vertical routes, and that his offense will open up more, and they have um, still they have new running backs because Rico Dardell is with the Panthers, I think. So
Mm,
having those receivers going to help that run game. But will that Dallas offensive line hold up? Because they lost a lot on that offensive line the last 3 years.
yeah. Can't
So
deny
we'll
that.
see. But that is my number five. I'm going George Pickens and CD Lamb. And Boom said they're gonna find a way to screw it up. I can see that.
And man, listen, I could definitely see that, man.
Robert,
Um,
he disagree. He disagreed with me. He said you got to put him in. But me, they're explosive. I get that. But if I'm looking at, I'm going by last year's stats and one combo that they left out because of that, and I'm gonna give y'all that in a minute. But it's the only
mhm,
reason why I left them out because I feel like this other combo that I have on my list will outplay them any Sunday, and there's no knock to either of those guys.
right,
But
right.
yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
my thought, Robert.
for me, I know since you did place in pretty much a future duo, I mean, they still got to play to hit the field, but I'm gonna talk about a duo that has played on the field, and they're closer than you think. They're rocking Atlanta Falcons jerseys, and I'm talking about
Oh,
Darnell Mooney and I'm talking about
oh,
Drake London. I believe these two guys can be top five this coming season. Honestly, wait, Darnell Mooney was a first down away from being 1,000 yard receiver. You go back and you look at a few drops that he have, and you just be like, "Daggone it!" So you wish he just could have pulled in at least one of those drops, and he definitely been 1,000 yard receiver.
one more first
I
down.
think he's I think he's going to come back with the vengeance this season. I think he's going to come back healthy, more motivated because he was right there. Drake was 1,000 yard receiver. I think that Drake is going to attempt to live in that 1,000 yard area, and he's going to get his opportunities. And Drake, I'm saying he can catch the ball, for sure. Big body receiver, you already know, so he can definitely he has that ability for 100 yard games and at least 75 yard games and stuff like that. Darnell Mooney at points in time of last season, he was looking like the number one receiver, and people were wondering, dang, like, is he? So I believe he's going to come back
So,
with a vengeance. And I think
so
that honestly, Michael Penix as the quarterback now, it was Kirk Cousins. And I'm saying Kirk Cousins was getting in the ball. Of course, he's a veteran and everything, and he was able to get them the ball. But Michael Penix does have the better arm. Michael Penix can get them the ball, and with them being a veteran, they can, really work with Michael Penix, and they can get all on the same page. And I think it can go somewhere. So you
so
went
you
CD
mean
Lamb.
you mean to tell me that the post we put up earlier, right here, uh,
Oh,
what do they rank? So you mean to tell me you putting them top five?
I'm going to put the home team at top five. I'm
Wow.
putting them at top five. And yes, if y'all didn't see it on Twitter, yes, we did drop that one earlier. Wondering if y'all guys, how y'all feeling? Are they in the top 10? Some people feel like they're in the top 10 right now. Some people feel like they're not. They're on the way. I feel like they're already in the top 10 right now. And I believe that they can move to top five and be in the top five. And I'll put them right there at five, respectfully, because there is some duos out there. And so I'm gonna put them right there at five because, of course, two youngins coming in, but making their presence felt. Going with the home team, man.
I like that. Taking a chance. And you right. We talk about. I told you behind the scenes.
We talked about it.
he was 3 to 4 drops away from being a 1,200-yard receiver. Think about that.
Definitely. Yeah.
One first down, 3 drops, and he easily a
Decent.
1,000-yard receiver. And like I told you, like I've been telling folks, he was the number 1 receiver in Atlanta until Drake London and Kirk Cousins got on the same page. Darnell Mooney was flat out balling. But
hey man, you see what happens, man. That's why I say he gonna come back with a vengeance. Because if he's the competitor that I think he is, talking about Darnell Mooney, and I believe he's thinking about that and be like, man, I was right there. Okay. Got to come. I'm coming back healthy. I'm coming back with a vengeance.
So
what you got?
Drake London, 1,000 yards. I think he can get close to 15 this year. Darnell Mooney, I think he can get between 11 and 1250, somewhere in that range.
I was thinking 1250. Yep. I was right
there. Where now you know I gotta start some shit. Where does that leave Kyle Pitts?
Where does that leave Kyle Pitts? Hey man. The thing about it, you never know. You just never know. But hey, Kyle Pitts, I mean, my thing is, hey, think about it like this. If Kyle Pitts has, let's say, 800 yards in the season, right? Matter of fact, yeah, let's say anywhere between 750 and 800 yards in the season. But he has 7 touchdowns. Is that a successful season for Kyle Pitts, or is that still kind of lowballing compared to his talent?
It depends on if those touchdowns clutch or not. If he has 7 touchdowns and 5 of those are clutch, that's a successful season.
I'll say 4 in the red zone. I'll even say 4 in the red zone.
Exactly. My point exactly. So if he makes more key plays and goes under 1,000 yards, and we know that he tried, I think that's successful compared to what he's done the last 3 seasons. Because after that 1,000-yard season, it's been straight downhill from there. The last 2 seasons, he barely got 600 yards. So 850 is 200 more than what he had the last 2 years. That's a win. Then you get 7 touchdowns, maybe 4 in the red zone. That's a win. And I've been seeing people say that Michael Penix probably could pass for 5,000 yards with the tight weapon that he have. And you got to throw Bijan in there. This is why I asked about Kyle Pitts, because Bijan, he had 60 catches last year, and that number could balloon to 80 this year. And he could possibly have 750, 800 yards. So where does that leave Kyle?
Tyler's going to be used in I believe in the passing game and in the run game too. I believe that they're going to. I do believe what you're saying about Bijan could balloon a little bit. It could go to 60, could go to 70, but I believe that Tyler Algier, it needs to be used a little bit more in this offense, and I think that they will realize that, because you wear teams down with guys like that, change of pace and stuff, and especially in the fourth quarter. If you're wearing them out in the fourth quarter, then they got to see Tyler Algier. I just think at that point, with fatigue kicking in and everything, I just don't feel like you want to see that guy and you want to tackle that guy.
Agreed. Number 4. Let's go on to number 4.
Yeah. We about to get into real Falcon talk all over again.
All again. It's always gonna go left because of where we from. But number 4, like I've said it time and time again, future first ballot Hall of Famer, and he gets his right hand man back this year. I got to go Mike Evans and Chris Godwin at number 4. And there's no knock to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. I just like this duo because I know a healthy Chris Godwin and a healthy Mike Evans. Baker Mayfield going to be slinging the ball all over the field. That's my number 4. Because like I said, Mike Evans is pretty much unstoppable. Mike Evans hurt Mike Evans. Nobody else.
I like it. I hate to do this. I hate to do it. I do. But I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams at 4. I'm going to go with those 2 guys because I know Jameson, I ain't going to lie, I did not realize that Jameson Williams had 7 touchdowns, and I did not realize that he averaged almost 18 yards per catch.
Yeah,
that he was taking the top off, like really taking the top off.
But remember at Alabama, they had a track team.
Of course.
Jalen Waddle, they had Jameson Williams, and they had Devontae Smith. all at the
Right.
same time.
Yeah,
But
Mechie
go ahead.
over there too. So it just that's yeah, man. That's definitely crazy right there. So that's a crazy duo. But yeah, that's who I'm going for number 4. I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. I think that duo, especially with Jared Goff, I know it's a knock on him, but honestly, I mean he's been
Jared
taking
Goff,
that
one of the
team.
most underrated
Yeah,
quarterbacks in the
man,
league.
he's been taking that
Easily.
team. It seems like
Easily.
he's ever since he got traded pretty much after the Super Bowl, like he's had a chip on his shoulder, and that's good
Right.
for him because he's been playing like it. I mean, does he mess up sometimes? Every quarterback does, but Jared Goff has been solid for Detroit, so for the most part. So
And
yeah,
honestly, it really wasn't his fault that they lost that NFC Championship game. It was just bad coaching down the stretch.
that's
Uh,
just that's tough.
but let's go number 3 for me.
Okay,
This is where I feel like the disrespect came in. And I respect all their opinion. They played the game. I'm just a viewer and I just like what I see. But Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, before
yes,
Addison went down
sir.
with that injury, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson were 2 of the best receivers in football. And
Right,
guess who was throwing them the football? Sam Darnold.
Sam
If,
Darnold.
if you can put up those type numbers, I think both of those guys had over 100 yards against the Falcons, over 150 yards, should I say, against the Falcons.
It was
And
tough.
it was no knock to the Falcons defense. I think any given Sunday they could have did that to any defense, no matter who it was. So
Right,
for them
and we
not to
still
even be
was in
mentioned,
that game though
right?
until
Right.
we were.
It was what 28-21, and the bottom just
Shoot,
fell
at
out.
one point, and we had it at 2020, and then like you said, yeah, the bottom did fall out after the turnovers and mishaps and just laps. It's all good though. It's over with.
And, but yeah, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, those are my that's my number 3. And to me, honestly, depending on who you ask, they could either be 1 or 2. And that's what I'm saying. The top
Depending on
3,
who you ask.
depending on who you like or who you ask, the top 3 can be 5 different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
Oh
so
man, yeah. I have to admit, saying this is where we can agree at. That's where I got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. I mean, Justin Jefferson alone, that's the man had 1,500 yards. And we're talking about with Sam Darnold, of course, saying Jordan Addison, he had went down with some injuries. I know he didn't play 2 games, but he still was near 1,000 yards himself. And he had 9 touchdowns, okay? So averaging 14 yards per catch. So he's not to be slept on. He's a twitchy receiver as well.
but
You said what now?
bro, just listen to these numbers from Justin Jefferson right quick.
Oh
If you
yeah.
look at his first 5 years in the league, it's more than anybody in NFL history, I think, or top 2. I know it's top 2. He has 495 catches, 7,432 yards, 15 yards a catch, 40 touchdowns. He averages 96.5 yards a catch. I mean, a
Crazy.
game. I'm sorry, a game. That is
Crazy.
ridiculous. And if y'all remember Julio Jones at one point, he was at 95.5. So Justin Jefferson at 96.5. In 2 years, 2 seasons out of the 5, he's averaged over 105 yards a game. That is just insanely ridiculous. So
Man, that's why he's one of the best for real. Definitely. But it's crazy because Jordan Addison, even with those numbers that you just said about Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison in 2 years and in 32 games, he still has 19 touchdowns. It's nearly 1,800 yards, and he's not even the number 1 receiver. So,
wow.
that's pretty impressive too.
And
That
you
is
talk
pretty
about both of those guys.
133 yards. 133 receptions total.
Both of these guys can stretch the field. Both of these guys, they can beat you in the slot. They can beat you vertically. They can beat you on end around. Anything. Anytime they touch the ball, they can liable to go all the way. So this is another thing as to why I tell y'all this list can go just like
I'm
that.
telling you.
Because Justin Jefferson alone, and I'm gonna get into that just a little bit later. But Justin Jefferson alone is a threat. And
Yes.
McCarthy landed in a good spot because he has a strong arm. Is he accurate? That's yet to be seen. But if he can get either one of these guys to football, don't nobody want these
It's over
problems.
with.
Then you have TJ Hawkinson there. So
Mm-hmm.
just,
Oh, reliable.
just keep that in mind. But go ahead. You agree with
Yeah,
number
no, I
three
was
though,
just
right?
saying it. Oh yeah, that's what I said. Me and you, we agree on number three because that's where
Okay,
I'm at with it. That would be my number three as well.
cool. So number two for me, and it was tough.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase and T Higgins. You talk about Jamar Chase to me had an MVP caliber season last year, and he finished number 8 in the MVP voting, and I think he finished third in the Offensive Player of the Year, which I understand because that's usually a quarterback award or a running back award. Because if a running back run for over 2,000 yards, they usually win Offensive Player of the Year. Saquon Barkley, for instance, last year. Then you had Derrick Henry, who also ran for nearly 2,000 yards. So,
Mhm.
that's usually a quarterback or running back award. But when you look at his season last year, 127 catches, 1,700
Mhm.
yards, 17 touchdowns, he also averaged 100 yards a game. So
Mhm.
he led the league in all statistical categories when it comes to receiving. So you look at him, he's really carrying T. Higgins. He the one got T. Higgins paid because, and it's no not T. Higgins, but when you have to guard a Jamar Chase,
Mhm.
it's tough, and you're taking away pressure from the other side. So, and T. Higgins went down with an injury. Remember that, and
Right. Yeah.
Jamar Chase didn't miss a step. So,
He still was out there being the number one receiver for sure.
all right,
Man.
but
Okay.
your number
So
two.
so my number two, man. Man, like you said, it is tough. It is tough, and you definitely just got to understand like it's two totally different styles. But man, I'm gonna have to put Devontae Smith and AJ Brown at my number two. I ain't gonna lie, I like both receivers. And you think about it, if there was no Saquon Barkley, I do believe both guys probably would get over 1,000 yards. Of course, they did not, but they both like between the two of those two guys still got like about 15 touchdowns between the two, I believe.
Yeah,
So they're like Devontae Smith. I got a lot of respect for him just because I know he can run every route. He's very tough, durable guy. Like honestly, I mean, I hate it. Of course, Alabama guy at the same time, but just the talent, it's there and it's obvious, and it's obvious why they took him as well, and like they're enjoying like his talents in Philadelphia, and then AJ Brown pretty much is that big body receiver, that guy who tries to emulate himself a little bit after Julio Jones, but still has his own style. And so he can go out there, he can pretty much, he can go short, he can go. I mean, really, both of those guys can go short, intermediate, and long. It just all depends, on the play call. So those two guys, like it's tough, but I'm gonna put them at my number two.
and honestly, there's no wrong answer because let's be real about it. Like you said, all four of these receivers they can just break loose at any time,
Yeah, man.
anytime. But you got them at number two.
Right.
I have them at number one. And the only reason why I have them at number one is because, and Julio said it, Roddy said it, and I agree because I thought the same thing. You look at AJ Brown, he's a Julio Jones type talent. He's gonna get his one way or the other. You saw it in the Super Bowl, you saw it in the playoffs. But Devontae Smith is another one of those underrated receivers. People look at his size at what 6'1", about 175, 180. 180 was soaking wet socks.
Mhm.
I call him Skeletor because if y'all remember the He-Man cartoon, y'all remember the He-Man cartoon.
This man is out of
Skeletor had that bony face, but he had muscles. So just think of it. He's a slim dude, man. But
control.
Devontae Smith can run block. Devontae Smith can win contested catches. Devontae Smith can even run you over at 180 pounds. So
Right.
he's a physical receiver at his size. That's very impressive. I would take him over T. Higgins twice on Sundays. And it's no disrespect to nobody because I know what I'm getting with Devontae Smith.
Right.
Speed, vertical threat. He's another one of those guys you can line him up anywhere on the field. He's going to make a play. Screen pass, slot,
Right.
slants, anything you name, he's going to come through in the clutch. So
Definitely.
this is why I took the Eagles do it number one and not the Bengals. I'm taking Devontae Smith over T. Higgins. And like I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
all four of these guys, you can put them anywhere. 1-2-2-1, line them up anywhere. These are top two duos in the league, hands down.
Yeah.
So
Right. Right.
that's the only change that I would make.
Right. Yeah. And of course, I'm going with Chase on the case and freaking T. Higgins, man. I know those two guys right there. That's in the background. They honestly at any given time can end up in the end zone on any play. Honestly, they both can. I believe now. Of course, Jamar Chase is the better route runner. Jamar Chase can go short, intermediate, and long. So it don't matter. He can take it. Like he's the closest guy that I've seen. So of course Justin Jefferson as well, but he's one of the closest guys that I've seen that can take that old slant and go all the way to the house. Like seriously, like we've seen it happen so many times. And of course, he got almost 1,800 yards this past year. And I know T. Higgins missed some games, but when T. Higgins was healthy, there were plenty of times to where they were trying to take Chase away, and they were still able to get down the field and still able to score points with T. Higgins because he took over that number one responsibility. Yeah, of course, so they rolling coverage is over, but you got to still do your job. And that's exactly what T. Higgins has been doing. And they paid him like a number one receiver because I believe on a different team that probably is struggling at wide receiver, he could go there and make some noise. But also, you think about it, their quarterback Joe Burrow, they had a bad year as a team. They had a bad year as a team, but still they was able to get down the field and at least give their team because their defense weren't doing talking about nothing as far as like holding on to a
Bro,
lead.
they scored 30 points in over half their games.
Half their games, exactly, and still could not pick up the dub. So that's what I'm saying. Just imagine if they had at least a little defense, they definitely would have went further than what they were. They definitely would have been in the playoffs. I feel like they would have had like maybe possibly a deep playoff run because that offense, that quarterback, they keep him upright. He's going to get them the ball. And I know some people may say that's a knock, so to them because they do got Joe Cool. But
Right.
I don't call it a knock. I honestly feel like because their defense was so crappy that the offense had to carry the team as much as they possibly could. So that's added pressure. So the offense is coming to try to score. You're trying to stop it and you just can't. All you can do is just hope that your offense can outwit their defense. And I just feel like they would have had a defense. We've seen that before in Atlanta. If we just would have had a defense. So I'm
Hey,
just
and
like,
what's so fascinating about both of these duos, and I thought about it earlier.
uh,
If you take the trios with the quarterbacks,
mhm.
these both of these they still 1-2
Yeah,
because Jalen Hurts is taking it to the next step every single season. Just
mhm.
won the Super Bowl, and I expect him to get better this year. You look
Right.
at Joe Burrow. If they get any scratch of a defense, this team can easily be back in the Super Bowl. And think about it: the year they made it to the Super Bowl, they still were top in the 20s in total defense. So,
That's true.
man, and they got a nerve to be holding out on their best pass rusher. Man, get the hell out of here. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to change. God still working on me, man. But y'all got to go with
Hey,
that. Y'all got to
hey.
go. But last question: who's your top receiver in the NFL? Because as we look at these combos, any one of these guys can be the number one guy. Well, on the first, I would say 3. And honestly, if you want me to say it, I say it. Mike Evans can be top 3 still, even at 30, 31, 32.
Yeah, that's what
He
I'm
still
saying.
can.
He's yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't have no beef with Mike Evans, man. He's a great receiver. I just hate when we play him 2 times a year. That's all. But
Hey,
outside of
it
that,
is
man, great receiver,
iron sharp,
great receiver.
iron sharpens iron. So hey, it
It
happens.
does. It does. It does.
But number one
Yeah.
guy,
Number one guy. Oh man, it's tough. But I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna stick to my guns right now, and I'm going to say Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the league. Of course, like we already know, you got it. He's getting the ball, and sometimes it's just so hard to stop him. So I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase as far as being the best receiver in the league right now.
Yeah, he put up the numbers. I get it, but
Yeah,
I just can't overlook Justin Jefferson what he did the
yeah,
first
I
5 years. Look, man, when you talk
know.
about a guy that's probably going to be, to me,
Mm-hmm,
he's going to be in the conversation with Calvin Johnson, Julio
mm-hmm,
Jones, Larry
he is.
Fitzgerald, Jerry Rice, T.O., Randy Moss. He's going to be in that conversation. So when you look
I,
at the
I think the
conversation,
same thing about Chase.
yeah. So when you look at that in that aspect of where he's going to be if his career keeps projecting that way, he's
Mm-hmm,
probably going to be top 5 in receiving to where he's headed. In the
facts.
first 5 seasons, he has 7,400 yards receiving already and 495 catches. So he's averaging roughly a little bit under 100 catches, um, about 1,500 yards. And you look at
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns, he having double digit touchdowns.
In order, okay, okay, you said how many catches and yards again?
495 catches,
Uh-huh.
7,432 yards. Let me make sure. I think I'm said that right, but he has 7,432 yards, 40 touchdown
Mm-hmm.
averages, 15 yards a catch, and for a game for his career already the first 5 seasons, he averages 96 and a half yards a game for a game for a season.
Yeah,
Think about
right,
that.
right, right. That's crazy. And I'm looking at Jamar Chase right now. Jamar Chase has right now, he's coming into year 5. He has 395 catches, 5,425 yards, averaging 13.7 yards per catch, 46 touchdowns. So I mean, he's getting close. I mean, honestly, in order to catch Jets, he would definitely have to have at least 101 catches this coming season, and well over
Okay.
2,000 yards, well over 2,000. Like he would have to have almost 2,500 yards to catch Justin Jefferson,
Right.
as far as like
I will
yards
break it.
go.
I break it down a little bit more. I had averages right here.
Okay, what
He
you got?
averages in a season. He averages 109 reception a season,
Mm,
1,641 yards, 15 yards a catch, 9 touchdowns. That's his average per season. And the
mm,
96.5 is still his average per game. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you
that's
got to put
crazy.
him in that. You got to put him in that conversation among great receivers. And like I said, he keeps projecting, and no matter who's the quarterback, he's still gonna get his.
He's gonna
Because as
get
I told y'all in the past, Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones, all these guys did not have high touchdown numbers, but they still made a difference on the field.
hmm
So
hmm
he's just one of the, he just had that it factor. End of story.
Hey man, like I say, can't go wrong with either or. And like I say, Jetta, man, Jay Jetta, man, I can't lie. Like
What it is, Grandfather.
he's definitely like between him and Chase, you can't go wrong. Like it don't matter. You can flip a coin honestly, and wherever it land, just walk away because you know you got a top receiver for sure. You know you got
Facts.
somebody that those are two guys that if they stay healthy and stay on their projection, they could be first ballots, both of them.
Facts. Yep. So, like I said, when you
Do.
talk about the greatest receiver, they're gonna come up eventually. So
Facts.
it is what it is. But those are our top 5 wide receiver duos in the NFL, man. If y'all watched it through the whole video, thank you. If not, please go to the beginning of the video or top 5 duos, and y'all drop y'all in the comment box. Millie Mills has a quick question.
Millie.
He said, "What about Puka and Devontae Adams?" That is a great question because I can
Puka
see
and
those
Devontae.
guys putting up stupid numbers this year. And the
Mhm.
crazy thing about it, they have a decent running back. They had Cam Akers, so They had Cam Makers doing his thing, and then Puka did his thing his first 2 years. He's another one that's setting a lot of NFL records. He set the record for rookie receiving yards. So yeah, Millie Mills, that's gonna be a nice duo this year too. But I just feel like the reason why I would take um CD Lamb and George Pickens because they match up nightmares. You got two number ones. There's no knock to Devontae Adams, who still can get it done at his age. But
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're going to give Dak. They're going to bail Dak out. He get paid 60 million, so
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have a choice but to go get him another receiver. Yeah, that's him. Grandizer Kyron Williams,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kyron
Uh,
Williams. Yeah,
yeah, the only thing now he does have a fumbling problem, but I think he can fix that.
he can
Because
fix
if
it. Yeah, he can
if
fix it.
Tiki if Tiki Barber can fix it, he can fix it.
Mm-hmm. I like the
So
kid.
yeah, Grandizer, yeah, that's who he is. Yeah,
Oh, that's all.
we
That's
checked
a
in
shot.
country live. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but we actually doing this late. We supposed to did it early in the day,
Yeah, we was.
but things
So
came up.
yeah, so much happened. I know for me, man. I know man, Anzi Sala for the Hawks. I know he definitely had his press conference. Had to get into it. Had to check that out, and then we was like, man, let's just go ahead and just catch up with it. And yeah, man, we just was really we in the beginning, talked about briefly, it's in the Legacy Locker Room podcast, episode 3, and those guys had the top 5 wide receivers to them, and honestly, great list, and especially from guys who played the game. So, but
Right.
we came on here and we threw a little curveball, man, and we added guys who we felt like going to be to the list, and added some guys to the list. So so you guys make sure you guys check that out. So rewind if you're not catching this, right now, make sure you catch it from the beginning. Make
He
sure you
said he
catch it
need
from the beginning.
another.
He said,
He
"You're
need
man. I
another
need another
tool.
screen to keep up with you."
Hey
Hey
man,
man, we just
one
trying to
thing about me and
give
A
fans the
one,
content.
we can have a conversation, and if that conversation go left and it comes out as an idea, we just jump on the screen and talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Because if we talking about it and the conversation is good, we know that y'all gonna enjoy it. But Jew, what's up, my guy? Yeah,
What's
that's
that?
a that's a that's a late night show, man. We jump on anytime, no matter what. Lee 85, what's good, my dude? But again, if y'all didn't check it, please go back to the beginning of the video, watch it through, and you'll see our top 5 receivers. Like he said, it comes from the Legacy Locker Room podcast with HD, Hot Rod, and Julio Jones. So
Yes,
please
sir.
go check out episode 3, and we're gonna check out episode 4. Possibly give
Yes,
y'all some feedback if it's worth talking about.
gotta do it.
Just like episodes 1 and 2, had the internet on fire. Hey, they possibly could still do it again. But Chris gave y'all his top 5. I gave y'all my top 5. Y'all drop y'all top 5 in the chat.
Comments.
And
Mhm.
before we get out of there, man, you know what to do. Tell everybody where to find you.
Hey man, A1 Forever Sports. You can find me over there anytime, any day. And come on over, man. Have a Hawks, Braves, hey Falcons. We can talk about it all, as long as it's Atlanta sports, and we can talk other things too. It's definitely getting into some other things. Possibly, man, maybe getting into some wrestling talk. I don't know, man. We're gonna figure it out. But definitely, man, like I said, A1 Forever Sports, TikTok, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, the real A1 Forever on TikTok. Also, catch your boy on the Hawks Digest. Like I said, dropped the video on there earlier talking about Anzi Sala, or excuse me, it's Anzi Saleh, is what I'm hearing. So Anzi Saleh and his plans, his master plan as far as the Atlanta Hawks. Got the draft on Wednesday. Make sure y'all check that out. See what the Atlanta Hawks do as we're
I
trying to
got a
improve
I
our
got a
team.
quick question about that.
What you got?
Um,
What you reaching for?
do you think do you think he gonna try to take a page out of Danny Ferry book since his name was brought up? And I know he's talked to these guys. Do you think Danny Ferry is gonna give them tips on how to build a team?
I'm not sure, man. To be honest with you, I think Anzi seems like the type of guy that is going to he can take maybe some advice from people, but I think he's his own man, and he's been given full authority to build a team's future. He said that in the press conference as well. You know, so he has the
Right.
full backing of Tony Resler. And somebody did ask about the president of basketball operations. He replied, "Hey, I respect that question. That's a good question, but I am the guy in charge until further notice, until I'm told something different." So he is the guy in charge. All final
So
decisions will
who's
go through
gonna make that final
Army
decision? Is
Select.
the owner gonna make that decision, or he's gonna make that decision?
The way that he was explaining it, it sounds like ownership has given him again full authority to make the decision. So the final decision is going through Ozzy Saleh.
Wow. So,
And he has his two guys with him, and Dinwiddie and Graham. So he
so I
has his
don't.
team, and we're gonna do it.
So is Kyle Korver still with the Hawks?
Yeah. He's kind of like Kyle Korver, kind of like be like scouting a little bit. Of course, you know he works with the guys with their shooting and everything as well. You know, on Yucca, that's why his percentage went up just a little bit. He got better a little bit at the 3-pointer point and everything. It's really just everybody. You know, I said even Dyson worked with those guys. Works with everybody. So, you know, you remember how Kyle Korver was here. Definitely a certified sniper. So,
All star.
Yes, and all-star. So, you know, again, the Hawks have to have some things to do. We're going to see how we can change the trajectory of this franchise, man. For real.
Hey, see, that's why y'all need to tune in to the Hawk Digest. He breaks it down just like that every single episode. Any question you may have, he gonna answer it. But y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me on Twitter at FatBoySlam_21. Find me on the NFC South Roundtable Tuesdays at 7 p.m. during the season. And I think this season is going to be action-packed as well as I join my NFC South compadres. And we give y'all the updates on the team, previews, predictions, and all that good stuff. So just stay tuned, man, because we got a lot left in the tank heading into this season. And like we said, man, we will be there on July 24th at training camp. So please come through, holler at us, take some photos, get some laughs, because that's what we do, man. Just like we crack jokes on here, that's how we are in person. So just keep that in mind. But anything else before we get out of here, before I end the show?
Hey, man. Hey, I appreciate you, know what I'm saying, you guys coming in, tuning in with your boys. Always when we go live, you know what I'm saying, you guys, you know, see it, y'all pop in. Appreciate y'all all the ways.
Facts. But for my boy A1, it's your boy Antoine Smith. And we're gonna rock on and keep putting up these topics. But for tonight and today, we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.